Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel where we review anything and everything. And today we are taking a look at another Lego set. This is Lego City set 60454. It's the holiday camper van and it's 385 pieces. It's a 6+ set. Now this is actually a trend that every couple of years they put out a holiday camper van, and I'm not sure which number this is in terms of how many has been out, but I can tell you that I just recently reviewed on the channel this set. This was the 5+ set holiday camper van of 190 pieces, set 60283. And that was the one that came out previously before this set. Now this set has changed a lot because that other set was retail for $20. And this set, which is going to be linked, is going to be down below in the description, is retailing for $30. But you can see the piece count is roughly double the piece count of the previous one for only $10 more. So in that regard, you're getting a lot more detail. You may not be necessarily getting a lot more stuff per se, in a sense, like you're still getting a camper van, you're still getting 3 minifigures, well 2.5, and whatnot, but piece count wise, you are getting substantial amount more. And there's certain features about it that are upgraded, like being able to fit two adults in the front seat, which I think is a very nice touch, and more space inside the back cabin area. So here you could see some of the features. They have 2 beds now. Now in the previous version, you weren't able to sleep everybody at the same time. Here you can, which I think is really awesome. Also too, this is, being that it's a bit more larger, it's if I'm not mistaken, it's a bit more wider in every aspect, and the trailer aspect is a bit more wider by, I believe, 2 studs. And the cabin area, the front truck cabin area, I know normally they would call it the cabin area, and this would be considered the trailer with most trucks. So using those terminologies, the cabin area is the same width at 6 studs, but because it's designed in the seat area to hold both adults, it feels like it's wider. The trailer part is, instead of maintaining 6 studs wide, it gets wider. You can see here the little curve outwards, it gets wider and becomes 8 studs wide, which makes a huge difference in terms of what you have in there. You even have, like I said, a little kitchen area with a sink, which is really nice, and the little stove area to put the coffee on. So it's like a full kitchenette set, which is more like a RV, like, you know, typical like RVs, as opposed to the other one, which is trying to be an RV. It's not that it's not, but it's more compact. And this also has a bathroom inside the back too, and a side entrance door to come in. So these are things that the other one didn't have. So a little bit more realistic features. But like I said, it's not about comparing. I will do a separate video for a comparison at a later point in time, but we're going to unbox this and check out how many bags are in it and then get into the build. So I actually was excited. This is part of the January 2025 release set, and I actually was really excited about this one, especially for how much you get for it. And I actually think it looks like it's a good value relative to the fact of what the other camper was. And I'm not at all knocking the other camper. I think it was a great purchase. I just think that the value on this lets you feel like this is one of those sets where most Legos are getting more expensive. This is one where I don't feel like you're really losing out in terms of the price and what you're getting. So let's see how many bags we have here. We have a total of, first let me grab the stickers out because I just see them here, so I just want to show them real quick. See, it's not too many stickers, and the other one was the same way. Here we have a total of 1, 2, 3, and 4 bags. So it will probably take about twice as long to put together as the previous holiday camper, but definitely I think it's a great set. Also, by the time of viewing this video, you can still get the holiday camper that I just showed you on Amazon for $20. I'm going to actually put that in the link in the description as well. Just in case, if you want to begin that collection, that one is either discontinued or about to be discontinued. So this is the time now to jump on that, of the timing of the recording of this video, while you still can, if you want to build that collection. Because like I said, every maybe 2 years or so, there's a new holiday camper. And if you want to end up beginning that collection, might as well be able to get on the previous version one now before it's no longer in production. But with that being said, you guys, I'm gonna rip open the bags. I'm gonna put everything together and we'll be back. All right, you guys, we are back. And so here we have, these are just the extra pieces here. So you can kind of get a sense of those. And it's really not much in the way of usable parts, I would say. You know, the only thing I would say that I think is a really usable part is this, because you can always use that for kitchen sinks. Other than that, you might be able to put something together. But for the most part, these are just extra pieces that you wouldn't really be able to do much with. So I'm just gonna move these off to the side. Now here comes the little side build, and it is a little campfire. So it looks nice and it goes hand in hand with the scene, even though obviously it's not something that you will put in the camper, where there's going to be a couple other accessories that are removable, like a table and chairs, that actually go in the camper. So it's a nice little build. Here is the minifigures. So here is Dad, and you see what he's wearing here. Nice little shirt, some back printing as well. Obviously the pants are you know, just basic and plain. Nothing wrong with that. He has a happy face there, and here he has more of just a also happy face, but less happy, I guess you would say. Here is the baby. Very simple. Just really one piece with the head, and this is the baby carrier. This has come on the previous camper before, and in this one they had it on the dad, or you can switch it up and put it on the mom if you want. Here's the mom. She's holding a guitar and a croissant, and you can see her torso printing there, and her face, and this right here, back printing a little bit. And she has a double-sided face. Just basic look on that expression. And this one, she's happy. So basic minifigures, nothing wrong with it. Now, and it's good that it comes with the 2.5 for the price, same as the other camper van. So those things are the same. And actually, stay tuned, because in another video, I'm going to actually do a comparison between the two. But as far as this one right here, so I really like it. I like everything that was put into it in terms of its design, because essentially you're getting, I don't want to use the term better, but you're obviously getting more. You're getting more. And in turn, you could kind of say it's better, but you know, I don't want to at all make it feel like I knocked the other one, because the other one I think was a great one for the price. It's just a different price range, but it does. Now, I've seen some content creators who've reviewed this already say that they felt that I've seen one person say that they felt that it was too wide, that it didn't fit for Lego scale, because obviously, Speed Champions, for example, are 8 studs wide. A lot of people know that doesn't really go to scale with Lego City and the roads. 6 wide is normally the standard that would go with Lego City and the size of the roads. But with that being said, this is 6 studs here, and then it becomes 8 studs on the cabin area, because it expands a little bit on the sides and becomes a little wider. You can see it kind of flashes out here, and it becomes a little wider on each side by additional 1 stud, making a total of 8 studs. I don't think anything's wrong with that in terms of feeling like if this is oversized. And the reason why I say that is because I think proportionately wise to most RV camper vans, that this is actually, most of them are wider than, say, a normal car. So if you'd say a normal car was 6 studs wide, most typical RVs in the real world are going to be wider than what a car would be. So I don't see that as a negative, and I don't feel like it's too wide. I think it fits for what it is. Proper RVs are very large. Now, you can see some RVs that are a little smaller, and that's also one thing that I actually kind of like about this one in comparison to the previous version, or several previous versions, but just honing in on the last version, that they are different sizes. RVs actually come in all types of sizes. You have ones that are really big, you have ones that are a little less big and has less features, and you know, maybe less sleeping space or more cramped sleeping space versus ones that have more. So that to me is something where I like that. Like if someone is collecting these over the course of the years that they come out, you're getting that different sizes. Now, just looking on the outside of it, I think it looks really nice. If you don't want to have the stickers, you don't have to, but because these stickers here have the red backing on it, which fade into the white for the mountains, the red give it color, because if you didn't have these stickers, it would just be a white panel here, and that's okay, but it definitely would look very plain, to be honest with this is all being white, and then just having, you know, just white right here, and then you go into the red. So I like the stickers on it. And then you have these bottom ones here, and the same on this side, except this one here, the stickers are now on the door, so it mimics almost the same type of sticker as here, but it just comes down further and has the door. There's not as much window space on this one as there was on the previous version, but nonetheless, that's not a problem in terms of you seeing the inside, because this whole panel is going to open up sideways. You do have the little sunroof area, which you can poke it out like that, but otherwise you'd have to take the whole thing off to get to it. So that's a nice little touch that's even incorporated. You don't have to necessarily open it. I think this is those typical like little antennas. I never knew what they were on there, if they were just decoration for a, what's the word I'm looking for, that's usually on the back of a car, spoiler, or if it's actually an antenna. But nonetheless, and they use these as these kind of hubcaps, you know, which they didn't have to, but, you know, nice little touch. One thing I'm a big fan of is, and we're going to get into the interior in a moment, but I'm going to lift this off mainly because I want to show the interior of the driver's seat area. Now, one thing I'm really a big fan of is I'm a fan that, and I'm going to take this off just for better visual. And of course we lost our door, came off, but just for better visual of this right here. Okay, sorry about that. I had to adjust because I was getting a lot of glare coming in from the window. But I wanted to point out that one thing I'm a big fan of is the fact that you have this, they set it up where you can have two people sit side by side, and though you can convert the previous version to be that same way, it's not super hard, but it is a little bit of work. But nonetheless, I like that a lot of the new sets that are coming out for 2025, between the off-road 4x4 and a few others, are doing that. I think that's a nice implementation, because one of the issues that a lot of the people would have issues with when it came to the six stud wide cars or vehicles in general was that you couldn't fit two minifigures side by side. So at that point you started wanting almost the 8 stud wide so you could fit two side by side, but then you didn't have the proportions that fit for Lego's regular car standards proportions. Like I just mentioned, should be 6 studs wide. So now you get the 6 studs wide and people could sit side by side by this simple technique that you would have thought they would have done more of years ago, but I'm glad that they're doing it now. I really like this little dashboard icon that they use for a lot of different like trucks and stuff like that. I think you can get away with using that for cars and everything like that, though I don't really see it really on cars, but on the RV, this is the same one they used on the previous one and they use it on this one. So I think that's cool. You got on the dashboard, little, that would be where cup holders would be, but they just simply put the mugs there. And obviously you have the steering wheel. So like I said, that looks nice. And these little bracket pieces here that they do there, which are side positioned little containers. They really just do it so the doors can hit those hinges and stay in place, because otherwise they'd fold deeper inside. So let me just put this back on the windshield. So I think that part is great as far as what we're getting right there. Now, as far as this opens up on the side, and we're just going to keep the top open for the purpose of being able to see more. I'm really a big fan of this because I really feel that this setup here is very, I don't want to use the word realistic, though that is true also, but it really accommodates all the things that you would really expect to see in a camper van from the perspective of a minifigure actually being able to access everything and the way things would be. What do I mean by that? Take, for example, when we have certain Lego buildings, sometimes you have to imagine stairs. Unless you have a modular build, then they'll include things like stairs. But in terms of full functionality, how do you get from one spot to the other? How do they access it? For example, the previous camper vans, there's like an open window space going from here to here, and you could assume that they just jump through that kind of little window space, because yes, they can do that. So they do have a way to come into the van through the regular doors and come through that. But there's no side door. Now the whole panel on the side opens up just like this one, but that's for us to see. That's not to assume that the minifigures are running through here, through the wall that opens up like that. This one gives you that door, so you know, that's how they would actually enter in. And then from there, you know, you have access to all the things in the inside. Now, one other thing I wanted to kind of note was that, like I said before, it has all the features and amenities that a person could really want inside this. And I really like that it actually sleeps everybody in it and not just maybe one person at a time while the other one would be up. Now, here you see is the kitchenette area, and it's really nice. Let me try to zoom in a little closer. It's a full kitchenette area for this kind of scope. You have, we'll assume that this right here is like a heating top or like a stove or a hot plate. So you can put on it, even if you had a pot, but this set doesn't come with a pot. And that's one thing I'm gonna just get out of the way right now. It doesn't have as many accessory additional like food pieces as the previous set did. So I showed you the extras that came with this one. There's not a lot in the way of like the extra food or anything like that. But as far as that's like a hot plate, that's a very nice design for the, let me pull it out. Very nice design for the coffee or kettle or coffee pot. I think it looks really nice. They use like the skate piece, just this kind of top angle piece, which I've never seen before, where it angles downwards like that. And, you know, we've seen the kind of type that's, I don't know how to describe it, but it's like a circle piece like this and the handle goes straight out that way. And you could use something like that too to formulate one of these, but even this base piece is not a common one that I've seen before. So this just looks really nice. I would say so myself. Now you could kind of make something like this with just a regular cylinder piece, use another skateboard piece, and then the other piece I'm talking about, if you're familiar with it, it's like a circle piece, almost like this, a little thinner, and then it goes outwards like that, a handle piece, but it doesn't bend downwards. And that could be used to make one similar, but nonetheless, you have that here, and then you have the sink. So it's just a nice like kitchen setup that's like, I feel a lot more fleshed out for the inside of this, where a lot of other camper vans in the past that I've seen might have a little kind of station area for food, but it wasn't really like a kitchen setup. So that's like an actual kitchen setup, and I like that. Also too, you see there's like the little steps coming up from there. So let me turn it around. You get the little steps here. So it's like the base plate here of this, then that first step, and then that one. So I like that too, like taking knowledge of that, the little steps that a person would walk up. Here, I like that they actually have a bathroom. There are some house structures that don't even have a bathroom. This slides to the side and you see it has the little bathroom set up there. I think that's amazing because, once again, first off, it utilizes this space so well. Secondly, like I said, there are some house structures in Lego City that won't even include a bathroom sometimes or something like that. They try to get into doing that more often now. But the fact that here you squeeze that in here with the bathroom, I think that's amazing. And it's something that the previous camper didn't have. Now, here you have the chair setup, and most of the campers sets always have the ability to take the chair setup out, and that this one's no different. The table is not locked into there, but it's definitely a nice looking table at least. So here you have that as far as the little table setup in the chairs. So that's nice that it comes out, but when it's inside there, it also doesn't feel too cramped, because when it is in there, you could see here, this little plate right here, that flat piece would be the walking area that you could get around it. So if I just put this here just for reference, realistically, minifigures would have the little space to walk through. And even though for us, it may not feel like a lot of space, in their scale, from their eyes, it's enough for, you know, them to kind of tilt sideways and walk past it. So even if you never want to take that out, it still fits in there in a way that feels like it would be there normally and doesn't have to be removed. And that's nice. This right here is the baby's bed. And I really love what they did here with the bunk bed setup, because it maximizes the space rather than just having a spot to sleep and then nothing, just air on top. Both adults can lay down. I really am a fan of that, because it really, there's not, you put it like this. The previous camper didn't have enough sleeping room for both people, both adults, to sleep at the same time. You have the baby and one adult could sleep at a time, which is fine. Like I was saying, as far as the space goes, the previous camper only had enough room for one adult and the baby to sleep at a time. And you could assume that the other person is either driving or whatever the case is. They could sit inside the seats because the other camper van had the sleeping at the top part. But not only does this accommodate all the people in it to sleep, but most Lego houses that are not, say, a modular set, and even maybe in the modular set, some of them fall into this category. Well, modulars don't usually have a family setup, but if you have like a family house, this is even the case with the Lego Friends. So almost none of these sets really do this, where they have sleeping for everyone, all the minifigures that come with the set. And here you have this little $30 set that actually has sleeping arrangements for everyone in it, and it's so compact yet accommodates that. So that part to me is super big. Then right here they have a sticker for a TV, which is not bad. You know, obviously in houses, the house setups, you have like usually like a flat plate as like the TV panel, and they'll have a sticker on that maybe. But in this case, they put it right against the back wall area, which is fine. You kind of like using double use on it, that it's built in. Looks like a nature show being played, which is probably documented by Johnny Thunder from the Jungle set. But yeah, and another positive thing too is that you have this floor panel. It's just a flat floor panel. And as we're gonna see later when I do a comparison video in terms of the other camper, that it's not a flat panel in that one. So you don't have this kind of basic walking space, and it's set up a lot different. So that is, like I said, the camper setup. I really like it. I am a big fan of this, and for the price, it is, like I said, $30. I think that what you're getting for that $10 is definitely worth it. It's definitely not something that I would ever be like, oh, well, it's inflated in the price and you're not getting, you know, it's not worth it for what you're getting. Total opposite. Granted, I think it's nice being able to have the $20 version as well on the side, the older version, which if you want to get that, pick it up soon. But as far as this being the next iteration, I think it's definitely great. I think it's worth it. I think in addition to that, like I said, you aren't losing value. You're actually gaining value, because for $10, you're getting double the pieces, which in itself, if you had to do a piece count versus, you know, the price, this should be $40. In addition to that, just the way they utilized it, you're getting an amazing build. They're just essentially taking that extra budget and making enhancements in every single way that they could. And I think that was great. The only thing I'm going to say that I wish that this came with, which is not a big deal, it wouldn't have cost them anything. At the same time too, they don't really have a spot where you would have put it. And that would have been a little bit extra food stuff. I would say they should have included a pan and they should have included maybe like eggs. They have the croissant, but include like eggs so you could put into the pan and things of that sort. I think that would have been a good look in terms of this whole kind of setup. And yeah, because then alternatively, where you have the hot plate instead of the coffee there, you could have put the pan on it with some eggs, and it would look like, okay, the person's cooking that. So, and if you have those as extra pieces, I mean, like I said, the one thing that this van lacks is storage. But if you have the pieces, then I would say, yeah, you could, you would be able to utilize that. But it doesn't have storage. So that's the only thing about it. They maximize the space, but they don't have storage. One other thing too, I wanted to note is this part here, they utilize where you could see the engine. And, maybe we can view that as the batteries, like positive and negative for the battery if you want. But it does kind of open up. So that's a cool feature that, it doesn't hurt that they do it, so they threw it in there as extra. Oh, and one other thing I forgot, I'm sorry, is these little doors here, which I currently cannot open. This lets you know that not necessarily the whole thing is electric powered, because I'm sure it has an engine and whatever the case is. So regular engine into the front. This right here is most likely just saying that the cabin, this is the battery that powers the entire cabin for all your electronics. And then on the other side, you have this, which could be indicated as hot and cold water. That's what a lot of people assume that it means. Obviously, Lego's not going to officially tell you, but you can make it kind of whatever you think fits best. Yeah, and this is the new holiday camper van. I definitely really like it. And that wraps up the video. As always, you guys like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.